Alright, welcome back to Terror by the Bay. I'm David. Only about the 5th time I've tried to start recording this video. I'm not getting much past the first 15 seconds. I record this Sunday night, March 2nd, 8 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. This is going to be a reading on... Actually, it's going to be on Vladimir Putin. But we're going to start with Pete Hegseth. He has ordered a halt to offensive cyber operations against Russia. What is it with this current administration that they just seem hell-bent to please Vladimir Putin? You know, this is... Russia is doing offensive cyber operations against Ukraine. Russia is doing offensive cyber operations against the United States. But it appears that Donald Trump wants to pucker up to Putin's you-know-what so much that he is now ordering his defense secretary to halt offensive cyber operations against Russia. Because we wouldn't want Vlad to be upset with us now, would we? Yeah. I mean, wow. Just wow. You know, God, it just, you know, Agent Krasnov there doing more of what he's told. Who is this benefiting? You know, I can understand if all countries just stop doing offensive cyber operations, that would be amazing. But to unilaterally stop, the environment isn't quite right for that. That's a little naive, with no guarantees of reciprocation. And if there was reciprocation, we would have heard about it because they would have announced it as a reciprocated halt in offensive cyber operations to, you know, take down the temperature worldwide, right? You know, so that's why we know it's one-sided. This benefits Putin, obviously. So I want to read on the energy around this halting of cyber operations. I want to read on Hegseth's energy because I want to know if he thinks this is a good idea or if he's being a good lapdog and doing everything that Daddy Donald tells him to do. Because Daddy Vlad is telling Daddy Donald what to do. And then we can look at Putin to see if this is another phase of Putin's attempts to manipulate Trump. You know, again, Putin and his national intelligence agent said that Donald Trump accepted help to win the 2024 election, and he's expected to honor his commitments. And now, all of a sudden, we have a public humiliation of President Vladimir Zelensky, and now we're halting offensive cyber operations against Russia, and we know that Russia was interfering with the 2024 election, as well as the 2020 election and the 2016 election. So, wonder who Donald Trump is honoring his commitments to. Oh, what a shock. I have no idea. So, for entertainment purposes only, because, well, what do I know? I've got no actual proof other than words and history and timelines, but nothing that will really stand up in a court of law. I mean, it really is concepts of a conspiracy. So, again, for entertainment purposes only, let's look at the energy around halting cyber operations against Russia. Oh, jeez. Remember that part I said about, you know, owing favors and paying things back? I think the devil's coming to collect his due, and there's more of this to come. These latest two things with Zelensky and cyber operations, that's just two of them. I think there's more to come. Underneath it all is the Page of Pentacles, messaging of values, but this is paying penance. This is paying back what you are owed. You borrowed money, and now you're bringing gifts. In the past, the Seven of Wands, this was done to give Trump his advantage, and these current actions will be done to give Russia an advantage. Current situation is the Page of Cups. Now, Trump has been described as the dancing monkey that you pay attention to so you don't see what's going on behind the scenes. This stopping cyber operations, you know, the fish in the cup type thing. This is just yet another obvious, it's almost obvious there's something wrong. There's something fishy going on, and it's obvious for everyone to see. But it's kind of one of the things, but what are you going to do about it? Overarching energy is the Four of Wands. It's the wedding, it's the gift, the wedding gift here. It's the opening day, the start of a new, kind of like the start of a new era, but it's opening day. The planning, the good idea, the planning, waiting for it, opening day. Opening day is here. The U.S. is open for business, and Russia's here to help themselves. Lesson to be learned, the Four of Coins. Information being guarded, things of value being guarded. It could very well be that, there's some stuff that Vladimir Putin doesn't want the U.S. to find out, and maybe offensive cyber operations would expose that. But I think this is more that Putin is really on the defensive, and the U.S. cyber operations would be very effective. Offensive cyber operations would be very effective right now, and Putin's trying to hold on to power. This is also that disinformation. So U.S. cyber operations could be spreading different disinformation into Russia, or they could be countering disinformation, which would welcome in a new era, a new government in Russia, and Putin's trying to hang on desperately. I think that's what you've got going on here. Outcome is the Queen of Pentacles. So I would expect that we are going to see more of the same, more things of value, homeland security type things that Russia is going to be calling the shots in the United States. I do like the Queen of Pentacles as homeland security. So in some ways, this could also be Russia's homeland security in a way. In order to maintain the status quo with the current government, we need the U.S. to stop with these offensive cyber operations, because they just might expose us for the liars and the cheaters that we are, and we can't have that. I really think Putin's on the ropes here. And it's funny, Trump is acting like the referee that's trying to break up the fight, and more people are now piling into the fight. And I'm looking at the EU for this one. Or I should say, Zelensky and Ukraine are starting to pummel Russia, and the crowd is now behind the Ukrainians. And the ref would be the United States, and the ref is now starting to show bias towards the Russian fighter. All right. Well, Hegseth was given this order. Give me some. I want to read the energy around Hegseth. What did he think when he got this? Does he agree with it? Does he disagree with it? I just kind of want to read his general energy around this, because this, if he was a patriot and in favor of the U.S. defense, this seems counterintuitive, to say the least. Judgment, answering the call, crossed with the 10 of coins and the 7 of coins. The president asked for it. I got to consider if I want to do it. One of two things is happening. He's concerned about his legacy as he does this, but at the same time, the prestige of the position, maybe he thinks this is normal. I don't know. Right now, it seems like he's going to answer it, and there could be money involved. There could be sweetening of the pot to do this. I don't know if that's money or values and legacy, but let's take a look. In the past, you got the 3 of coins. Okay, so this to me is Hegseth, promising Donald Trump that he would work with him on Trump's agenda. So now Trump is asking for favors on his agenda, and already Hegseth is going to be giving up a lot. And, I wonder if he's even, he might be considering how much he's giving. Does he care is the question. Current situation is 6 of swords. I think he's going to do it because he doesn't want to make waves. He's just going to do what he's told. overarching energy, he's going to continue to do what he's told. Lesson to be learned, this is his opportunity to stand up and push back. This is why the Senate does their vetting of cabinet positions, because they want to know, if the president gives an illegal order, are you going to stand up for it? This is his opportunity to stand up. He will be given more opportunities to stand up. Outcome is the emperor. Nope, he's going to follow what Trump tells him to do. He's not going to step up. I think he is firmly in Team Trump's camp. Maybe, did Hegseth do this for money, or what was, and I just do a little quick four-carder, what was Pete Hegseth's prime motivation for ordering the suspension of offensive cyber operations against Russia? Is it loyalty? Is it money? What is the reason why? Just real quick, the main reason why is Pete Hegseth complying with this order? Four of Wands, because he's fully in Team Trump. He's stuck. He can't say no to him. This is his way to show that he's part of the in crowd. Yeah, Trump says jump. He says how high. Yeah, I mean, it's like he's offering his thanks for being put in this position and the opportunity he's given. You know, he's kind of stuck. Trump owns him. Trump owns him. When Trump just says jump, he says how high. So it's actually out of loyalty. It's a thank you for putting me in this position. Quid pro quo. You scratch my back and I'll scratch your back type of thing. That's what Hegseth is. He's useless. Congratulations. It is March 2nd. And not that I didn't think you were useless before, but these cards are telling me that you are useless and you will continue to be useless. Basically, he's a yes man. Yes, sir. Okay. Good old Vlad. How's Vlad thinking about this? Or, no, better yet. Before we get to how Vlad's thinking about it, what is Russia's prime motivator? Again, it looks like on that last reading, it looks like Putin's trying to basically avoid a coup. And, trying to get Ukraine defunded, trying to get NATO nations to walk away, follow the U.S.'s lead and walk away from Ukraine. That's not working. And now we want to stop maybe cyber operations which are effective in undermining Putin's propaganda. It could be that the U.S. is also throwing out propaganda. I wouldn't doubt that for a second. But we know the Russian state is throwing out propaganda, and there's two ways you can fight propaganda: with more other propaganda or with the truth. And both of those will work. So what's Putin most concerned about here? He's trying to keep his secrets. And what's crossing him is the offerings he's being given to help him with his secrets are not enough. They're too little. It's not too late, but he needs help big time, especially monetarily. He needs big monetary help, and he's only getting little monetary help. Secrets are getting out, and he can't afford. Big secrets are about to get out. Probably the Russian economy is about to crash, and he's got to save face with this one. In the past, the Wheel of Fortune, his fortunes are running low. Again, Russia's running, from what I have heard, it's not like I do my own research and I go looking into Russian banks, but Russia is purported to have put a lot of money away for this 3-day war. It's been 3 years. They're running out of cash. Basically, Russia knew that there would be sanctions against them, so they saved up a bunch of money to outlast the sanctions. Because how long were the sanctions going to last? A year, 2 years? And then we feel like, we got bored with it. And then they lift the sanctions and Russia's okay. Well, they've had to use that money to prosecute this war. And from what another thing I heard on TikTok, again, could be completely false, but it sounds reasonable, is that Putin is strong-arming Russian banks to giving loans to private armies like the Wagner Group to help finance the war. That way the government doesn't have to declare them on the books. And Michelle, I mentioned that to Michelle. She's like, well, why would the banks do that? It's like, yeah, they're not going to collect on those. And I said, well, it's not going to collect on them. Why would they do that? Because the other choice is to be pushed out of a 10-story window and then going to the next guy in the bank and say, would you like to comply? Or you can join your friend on a one-way ticket down to the swimming pool that's empty. So, Russia's in it to win it, and unfortunately they're running out of money. Current situation, why is Putin doing this? Ace of Swords, he's got to do something. This is his next best idea. Stop the war, declare victory, and he can't have people undermining his secrets, or more to the point, exposing his secrets. Russia's economy is in a bad shape, and if the Russian people start rising up, there's nothing he can do to stop it. Hungry stomachs make a revolution. And he will do this. He will pull up. Putin is going to pull out all the stops. Because this is it for him. He's run out of cards to play. Out comes the 7 of coins. Funny, just like Hegseth's under the undervalue card here. He's trying to call in his chits. He's looking at what card, talking about the card analogy, what cards do I have to play? He's got some cards left to play, but these may not be ideal cards, because what he's got so far is, it's like the fruit isn't big enough, it's not ripe enough, or there's not enough of it to get done what he needs to get done. Russia's economy is going to, even if Russia stopped the war today, kept the land that they've taken from Ukraine, and got their land back, their banks have been devastated by the loans they've made to the private militaries that Putin is using. And inflation is going to be bad. Products aren't going to be available. It's going to be a very hard time for Russian citizens. And it'll be a hard time for a while. And that's if they stop everything and quote-unquote win now. Can you imagine if Putin's forced to go another 3, 6, 9, 12 months with no money left? And Ukraine's now hitting refineries. They're hitting fuel depots, weapon depots, and refineries. Knocking out fuel and weapons to help Russia move vehicles and attack, and then take away their refineries so that they can't produce as much oil to sell to fund the war that they need the banks' help in funding, or else they can't fund it. Basically, the reason why Putin's using the banks is because he's trying to make it seem like he's not really spending that much money on the war. You guys can all relax. Ignore the bread lines. What's Putin's current mindset? Where is he mentally with all of this? Is he panicking? Is he calm? Is he cool, collected? Where is he with this? Little 4-carder. Oh, he's trying everything he can imagine. Things are getting hectic for him. This is trying to keep all the balls up in the air, and he's not succeeding. He's dropping balls here. Things are going down. What's the end of the? He's working. He's still working, but I think the economy and the funding is going down. It's all about funding. He's trying to keep the illusion up. It's really hard to do that, but he thinks right now he's got the winning hand because he's got Trump on his side, and he can manipulate the stuff in the U.S. The U.S. sends out basically propaganda that their own cyber unit can't stop, that Russia's going to win this war, and then Putin can declare his victory, even though the Russian people are going to go through a really hard time. Now, Putin's he's trying to do everything he can to avoid losing this war. Losing this war means he loses his life. So really, this war is life or death for Vladimir Putin. If he loses this, people will be gunning for him. So that's why you're going to see him pull out all the stops, and you're going to see Donald Trump and his administration do things that are they're head scratching. Like, why in God's name are you doing this? Because Putin's at the end of his game. He's pulling out every last stop, calling in every last favor, and it'll be more and more obvious, more and more outrageous, and more infuriating until we or somebody does something about it. And you and I can't call Trump, well, we call him a clear and present danger, but we can't remove him from office. We can lead the charge, we can lead the groundswell, but other people are going to have to be the ones that take him out. And it's going to have to start with the Republicans. It's going to have to be his party. Richard Nixon didn't leave willingly. He left because the Republican leaders in Congress came in and said, we can't stop this. You're going to be impeached. You are going to be voted out of office. You better resign now. Same thing with Trump. Okay? And same thing with Putin. Thank you very much for watching this video and support my channel. I appreciate it. This reading is for information, for entertainment purposes only. It's for information only too, but it's for entertainment purposes only. Thank you again for supporting my channel. I do appreciate it, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.